Welcome back to another edition of 5 Questions with Paulist Fathers. One of my favorite cities in the world is Chicago, Illinois, and the pastor of Old St. Mary's is Father Brad Schoeberle, and he is joining us today. How are you, Father Brad?
I'm good. Hello to all of you. Hope you're all doing well too.
Yeah. So, hey, question one, real easy. What's the one word you would use to describe the mood in Chicago right now?
So the word I'd use is pensive, and I would probably use that to get into a lot of other adjectives right now. That when you see people on the street, they're very practical. I mean, they're doing what they need to do to get by, but they're also cautious. At least most are cautious. Most that I encounter are optimistic, but they're also a little worried and somewhat expectant. There are a few that are a little defiant, and of course, as we gather in church, people are they want to get back as soon as possible, but there are a lot of them that want to wait and figure it out. So they're hopeful, they're looking, they're prayerful. So all of that kind of rolls into pensive. People who are trying to figure this out and trying to do some steps to make it go forward.
Yeah, doing the best they can, right? You know, in
Yep.
circumstances. All right, what's the number one theme in your preaching right now with all this stuff going on?
Well, I think I would distill it down to looking to Christ and listening to him to guide forward. So last Sunday, I actually picked up some words from Father Stu's homily the week before. And one of the things he said near the end was about gospel choices. Gospel choices either to reflect on our soul and look with hope going forward, or to become fearful. And so I would say the gospel choice to follow Christ takes us into that direction of figuring out what's true. And I don't know if you know this, but not everyone's trusting politicians these days. And yet the questions we should be asking our politicians, the questions we should be asking each other is what is true? And are we open to exploring the truth? So when I say we're looking for Christ, he's kind of that guide who takes us forward to look into the things we don't want to look at. He takes us into examining our fears and figuring out in the midst of fears, well, where's our hope? Where's our guidance forward? And so he allows us to participate in actions that help those who are deprived of justice. He gives us hope when we're dealing with medical issues that confound us, that we can't figure out. And his presence with us gives us a strength and ability to go forward and to be connected with each other, even if we're self-isolating. So
that's all great. It's a good preaching model too. You know, what's going on in the community, what's going on in Scripture.
Yeah, and I like to think if it doesn't all come back to Jesus, then what am I doing?
That's right. I used to have a list of things you had to cover in a homily, and one of those was mention Jesus Christ at least once,
Yeah.
along with the scriptures of the day. Yeah.
Yeah, I've certainly seen a few where people haven't.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Me too. Hey, that was question 2. Question 3. What's your favorite food during quarantine? Yeah. And you're kicking back.
The new love affair I have is with eggs.
Mm.
I mean, it's really pretty simple. I've discovered all kinds of ways of making eggs.
Oh.
So I do everything from get up in the morning, throw a couple into a Corningware cup and do my own little mini souffle or just scrambled eggs. And that works out really well. And then I've done more extravagant strata type things. And it's a good way to use up extra cheese and vegetables and leftovers and things like that. So eggs definitely, but there's always pizza because this is Chicago after all.
That's right. Yeah, the deep dish rules, right? You know.
Well, although we tend to like thin crust in the house a little more, and we've got a couple restaurants near us that we can get takeout, and they are thin crust, and they're pretty good.
Good. Yeah, I prefer the thin crust myself, but that's because I'm a New Yorker. So that was question 3. Question 4. What's the most important thing that you have a parish school? So what's the most important thing that the parish school has to do right now with the fall coming?
Okay. Well, I would say that the school it's the school that defines for me the beginning of all this, because it was March 13th, Friday, March 13th,
Yeah, right.
was our last day of school in the school itself. And I would say we had prepared for the week ahead that at any moment we could have been closed. And so it didn't come as a surprise when we got to that Friday, and then the Archdiocese closed down the entire school system. So when we did that, we've been constantly looking forward as to what we're going to do next. We were ready to do online learning, and while everyone isn't thrilled by it, people have taken to it. Our teachers have adapted really well. And so as we look forward, and as we've been trying to figure out what the future holds, we were trying to shore up areas of that to make that stronger, because we didn't know what was going to happen next. So it's only been the last week that we've really found out schools are going to reopen on August 25th.
Wow.
And what the school is doing to prepare is, as I said, shoring up the teachers. We're also in need of a few teachers, although that quest seems to be going well. We've been going through the whole school, re-sanitizing. If kids are coming back, we have to make sure the classrooms are more empty. So like the biggest trick has been with the preschool to take out all the familiars that the kids cuddle and snuggle with, and it has to begin to look more like a traditional spread out classroom. And of course, the younger you are, the more room they need. So we've also had to adapt all the rooms in the school, and we think we figured that out. So we think that fortunately we have this parish center here as well, and we can accommodate a couple of the grades over here, which allows us to have that. So physically, I think we're going to be in good shape for space. We're going to be able to social distance, and we're also going to be able to, for those who want to stay at home, they'll be able to. For those that want to be at school, they can, and we can, depending on what the guidance is, we can figure out where to go or what combination is going to happen with that. So those are all in place. We have a really good principal, Diana, and she's been just really farsighted in where we need to go to, and making sure all the categories are shored up. So we're in pretty good shape. Reaching out to the parents and kids, of course, has always been our #1 priority, and to assure them that the school is ready for them, regardless of what the situation is going to be in August.
I'm tired just listening to that. So good job.
And we have 512 kids registered for the fall, so it's
Wow, that's great. Yeah. Finally, our last question. What's the thing about pre-COVID life that you miss the most?
just the freedom to travel. I mean, and I don't mean that as, big trips, although that would be part of it, but just to just walk down the street and to stop into any restaurant without thinking, to go down to the Art Institute, to walk around on the beachfront, to walk around downtown and go in and out of different stores. So, and then of course, to even get in the car and go and visit my friends in the suburbs, my family up in Wisconsin and all over Wisconsin, and connect with all them. I had opening day tickets to the Brewers and the Cubs in Milwaukee with my best friend.
Yeah.
And this was an overdue trip that we had planned. And of course, that all fell apart. So that was going to be a nice 3-day holiday. That the Cubs were going to be there too. It was a bonus. I'm a Brewer fan, so that's a thing. But so just to be able to have the ability to do that again, and I don't even see in the opening plans for baseball that I'm going to be able to do that very easily.
Yeah. That hurts my heart just a little as a baseball fan myself. But that's gonna be tough. So, and you're from Wisconsin originally, right?
Right, just across the border, Janesville, Wisconsin, which one of the former speakers of the House used to be from, or is from.
Yeah, my sister-in-law lives in Milwaukee, so that's how I know those two areas, Milwaukee and Chicago, are probably the place in the Midwest I know best. So that's been great. Well, Father Brad, it has been great catching up with you, and I'm glad that things are going well out in Chicago at Old St. Mary's. Best of luck with all the stuff that's coming up with the school and with the parish and everything else. Please say hi to everybody and keep us in your prayers.
We'll definitely do that. Thank you, Mike. It's been a pleasure chatting with you on Zoom and anytime.
And happy 20, right? This is
Thank
20
you.
years.
Yeah, along with Dave Dwyer and Ricky Manalo. It's great.
Yep. So 20 years. So here's a little piece of trivia for you. Your ordination was my wife and I's. I think it was our third date, because she was classmates with Father Dave Dwyer at Syracuse.
Oh. Okay.
And so I had just started working for the Paulists then, and she said, "You're okay. You said you're gonna go work for the. I think my friend's becoming a Paulist." So I was like, "Who's your friend?" And she said, "Dave Dwyer." And I was like, "Yep."
So it sounds like synergy.
That's right, exactly. So you were there at the very beginning of everything, Father Brad. Thank you. We'll keep you in our prayers as you keep us in yours.
We'll definitely do that. God bless.
This has been another episode of 5 Questions to Paulist Fathers, and we'll see you soon.